Hello and welcome to Knowledge by Nature. In today's video, we're going to have a big comparison of the Singapore math programs that I have used. We have Dimensions Math, Primary Math the Original, and Primary Math 2022. So if that is something that you're interested in, stick around. All right, welcome back. If this is your first time here, I am a homeschool mom to a third grader. We love all things books, homeschool, and sharing our journey with you. And if that is something that you are interested in, I would love if you consider hitting that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, find it helpful or informative. So here we go. We're gonna dive into Singapore math today. I know I'm not the only one that has a struggle of knowing what is gonna be the best fit. Before we get started, I do want to be completely clear that I purchased all of this myself. Nothing came at a discount, nothing was given to me. I'm always honest in my reviews, but I just want you to know I have bought all this craziness. I have, as you can see, I have the same level here. So I have purchased all of this in an effort to figure out what I like the best. We can't all just go buy it all and see what we think. And so that is one of the main reasons I ever started my channel, is so that you can see. This is how I'm able to see so many things. I don't have a store that I can just go look at curriculum, and many of you don't. We're going to look at Singapore math today. Now there are 3 versions, as I mentioned previously. We have the primary mathematics. This is what you could call the original. Singapore math was created in Singapore. It was brought over to the United States, and this was its baby. Primary mathematics original is this right here. Now then along came Singapore math Dimensions Math not too many years ago, and that is what this program is. So we have Dimensions Math, also Singapore Math, and then the newest kid on the block is Primary Mathematics 2022. This also is sold by Singapore Math now. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of that. There was a little bit of confusion on exactly what this was. It is a version of Singapore Math, so I'm going to leave it at that. One more little disclaimer. I am not a mathematician. I do not love math, but I have spent hours researching Singapore math and math for homeschools, and this is just what we have settled on at this point. Some version of Singapore math. So I just want to get a few things out there so that you know where I'm coming from. I'm just a homeschool mom trying to find the best curriculum for my child. So that's my perspective. That's where I'm coming from. And I'm just going to try to share everything that I have found and decided on and thought about during the 4 years of using Singapore math. All right, let's look first at the obvious things, which is we have some teacher's guides here. I actually have 2 home instructor guides and 1 teacher guide. You can see that there is, if we're just looking at the 2 home instructor guides, there is a considerable size difference. All of these programs come with 2 semesters, A and B. Today I just pulled A out, that way there's just less for us to deal with right now. Dimensions Math does have a home instructor's guide now. I have not ever purchased that yet. I may one of these days, but right now I haven't. And it is a little bit smaller. The home instructor's guide for Dimensions Math is a little bit smaller, but if you were getting the teacher's guide, you can see that it is quite large. It is much, much thicker than the Primary Math 2022, but it's about the same dimensions. Then we just have a nice 8.5 by 11 notebook style, not spiral, notebook style for the home instructor's guide for primary mathematics. Another quick comparison is, as I said, they all come with 2 semesters. So if you're going to do a full year of math, you are going to have 2A and 2B, 3A and 3B, 1A and 1B. You will have, no matter what you have, you will have an A and a B that corresponds to that year. So that is another similarity that is across all three if you are looking for that. This is where I think we kind of start splitting, and all three are no longer able to be compared like side by side as far as what all they're going to come with. So let's just, I think for ease and simplicity, let's just look online. Let's go to Singapore Math together and let's see what all a packet comes with, and let's look at the cost. Let's compare those things, okay? Come on, let's go look at that. Okay, so we are here on singaporemath.com. You can see right here, I just typed in Singapore Math and it pulled up. As I said before, Singapore Math now carries all three sets. They have Dimensions, they have Primary Math, and they have Primary Math 2022. Now that we are here, let's go over here to Shop first. So I'm going to click on Shop, and that's going to show us everything that we need to know. As you can see, they do carry all three programs now. So we have Dimensions Math, we have Primary Math 2022, and we have Primary Math US Editions. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit more of this in a little bit, but first, let's shop these things. Okay. All right, let's open up Dimensions Math here. We're looking at 158.80 at the time that I am recording this. So this is late February, mid-February of 2023. You can see that some things are sold out. And this is the big guide, the whole set here. So this is what they say you may need if you're going to start with Dimensions. So we have a home instructor's guide. Remember I told you you could get a home instructor's guide or a teacher's guide. You're going to need your textbook. Here that is right there. You're going to need your workbook. They now offer home instructor printables, which I think is really awesome. Previously, it was you print them out online, and it was called Blackline Masters. That's free. You can still do that. That's what I do. But if you don't want to mess with that, they have this home instructor's printout. That's what that is. And then there are tests if you are interested in testing your student. So if you wanted all of these things, you're looking at $158.80 for the entire year. Because remember, we have A and we have B. Now let's go back. Let's say you want the teacher's guide set. So here's kindergarten. Let's go back to this first grade because you can see there's a little bit of a difference between first grade and on versus pre-K and K. A little bit cheaper there, not needing as much stuff. But let's go ahead and let's just look at the first grade for you want the teacher's guide. And I'm going to show you the teacher's guide in a little bit to show you why you might want the teacher's guide. So with this program, you're looking at $145.20 US dollars here for an entire year of Dimensions Math. We have our teacher's guide. You can see it's that large book I was telling you about, the textbook, the workbook, and the test. Now they do not have the printout here. Do you see that we're missing that? That's no problem. Like I said, you can go online and print out those Blackline Masters. So you have everything, or you can buy it separately also. And we can probably find that somewhere too. Okay, let's go back to shopping. So we have an idea of a dimension set is going to get you $158.80. A Dimensions Teacher's Guide set is going to get you $145. Definitely check this out. I'm not going to go super crazy into all of this, but you can buy it separately. If you wanted to get things separately, let's say you don't want the test book, let's say you don't want the printout and you only want the maybe home instructor's guide and the workbook and the textbook right here. You can see they're out for 1A, so I can't show you that. But you could considerably drop your cost if you wanted to only get a few things. And with Dimensions, you can do that pretty easily. Their main three core things are your guide of some sort, whether you choose a home instructor's guide or the teacher's guide, and then a textbook and a workbook. Okay, that would get you a full curriculum. You're ready to go with those things. This is an extra. You're going to get that either online free or you can purchase it already printed. Test or whether you want them or not. This is not a necessary standard for this program. Okay, let's go back up here to shop. Now let's shop primary mathematics. Okay. All right, here we are, Primary Mathematics 2022 edition, okay? So this is the new baby in the family, okay? Primary Mathematics just came out, and you guessed it, 2022. They have kindergarten, and then again, we're looking at A and B and first grade. Now, I scroll down here, and I don't see where they have any kits like the previous dimensions did. So if we're looking at first grade, let's see if I can find us a whole set here. So we have a teacher's guide, okay? I actually didn't realize they had that. So you can get a teacher's guide in primary mathematics, and you can get a home instructor's guide. Now you can also see there is a considerable cost difference right there. I don't have anything to tell you about this, but definitely if you're interested, go in here, click it, and they have different options that you can see the pages. This looks similar to how Dimensions is sort of set up. You have this picture here of the page in the student book, and then you have all of the learning recall things in that. Okay, so that just quickly shows you that. The home instructor's guide, we'll look at that in a little bit, but here's your cost difference on that. All right, here is the student book. This is a consumable, so I'm going to go ahead and show you a few pages with this because I don't have it anymore, but you are going to need a student book, and then we're also going to need another one with Primary 22. And then we also have Mastery and Beyond. This is, you want to add some more practice. Maybe it wasn't enough. So this is just another practice workbook. There are an A and a B. And at the time, it didn't say that this was necessary. Now, they may have changed that a little bit. If we click on this how to use, our programs divide the school year into 2 semesters. You need a student book, additional practice, and a home instructor's guide. So right here, required components. This Mastery and Beyond is not a required component. They are saying that additional practice is a required component. So let's find that right here. Again, we're working with one right now, first grade. Here is, you can see it's all black and white. Most of the time that is the case. The workbooks are going to be black and white. So looking at the cost, they're saying that we're going to need a home instructor's guide. We're looking at $25 for that. We're going to need a student book. We're looking at $12.95 for that. And then we are going to need an additional practice, $12.95 for that. So to get the 3 required components, you can see it's a pretty decent cost there, not too bad, okay? You can definitely add in different things as far as this Mastery and Beyond if you wanted to, but this is just a look at primary math. Now let's go to primary mathematics, and we're looking at the US edition. There are multiple editions of primary mathematics. The US edition is the one that came over to the United States. The only thing that they did from Singapore math that they brought over is they changed over, I believe, like the currency. Okay. Now, if I'm scrolling down through here, I'm not seeing that kit option again. So let's just go up here. We've been looking at first grade, so let's look at first grade again, okay? We have our home instructor's guide right here, 1950, okay? For the first edition, okay? We have the textbook, 1570, and we have the workbook, 1570. Now, I know that sometimes that they say to get intensive practice. Let's see, do we see intensive practice anywhere? I went through here and I'm not seeing intensive practice. I am seeing challenging word problems. This is something else depending on if you happen to use an online teaching method, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. They may recommend getting these challenging word problems, but I'm not seeing the intensive practice. So I went ahead and I Googled that, and it is showing up right here. And this is something that I know that they recommend if you're using the online teaching program. And so just to show you really quickly here, it didn't pop up because it's actually over here where it's talking about like the Common Core edition and things like that. But this is a possibility of something you may or may not want to add. I just want to bring this up too, just in case you want to add that as well. So remember, you're going to need to add in your 1A, your 1B. Whatever grade you're in, you're going to have an A and a B. Okay, so we're looking at right here. If we just did these three right here, that's for semester 1. You would also need it for semester 2. They don't have the kits on here to get like everything that you need. It's all an individual purchase. All right, while we're on here, this is a really, really great website. So if you are debating these programs, come to Singapore Math because they really do have everything now and they're adding a lot of information. So let's go to parents section right here. Do you see that? And then you can go down here. It's going to get you started. It's going to explain to you what Singapore Math is because Singapore Math is different than a lot of different math. It is, I believe, a lot more advanced than many others that are available, and it is just taught differently. So most of us probably haven't grown up with Singapore Math, therefore you may want to know what it is you're getting into. Now this right here, this is what you're here for, okay? Which program is right for me? Click this. We're not going to go through every single thing here, but let's just look at this because I think it's fantastic and I wish this would have been available when I was first doing this. Now, first thing, I love that they say look at it and see which one appeals to you most. Honestly, if you don't like the look of it, if you don't like the way that maybe the book sizes are, it doesn't matter how good the insides are. If you don't like the look of the outside, you may not be as excited to use it. So I think this is a very valuable thing. Look at those sample pages. There are so many sample pages. Check it out. This is one of those things that can get really confusing is there are so many editions of some things. There is only one edition of Dimensions Math. If you go to Dimensions Math, that's just what you're getting. You go to your grade level, that's what you're getting. There are four editions of primary mathematics, which really just adds on to the confusion as a parent of what edition do I get? Now there is, let's see here, there's Primary Mathematics US Edition. That's the one that I have used. That's the one I showed you. And that is the one that we were pricing out. Okay, that's the original baby. Then we have Primary Mathematics Standards Edition. We have Primary Mathematics Common Core Edition, and then we have Primary Mathematics 2022. This is really, really important, friends. Right here, they all share a similar approach, except for Primary Mathematics 2022. Okay, you can easily, oh, here it is. They say right here, you can easily switch from dimensions to primary mathematics right here, primary mathematics US edition, standards edition, and common core. You can switch these three with dimensions really, really easily. Okay, super easy. I've done it. I went from dimensions to primary. You can do it. You cannot do that with primary mathematics. Okay, if you start in one of these up here, you are going to be ahead of Primary Mathematics 2022. Primary Mathematics 2022 does not have the same scope and sequence. It does not follow the same topics. You cannot switch easily. So if you are going from Primary Mathematics 2022 to one of these four up here, you're going to have to do some supplementation. You're going to have to find the holes and the gaps that Primary Mathematics 2022 missed because you can't do it. we're running into that problem this year of this didn't teach a lot of the things that we needed to know. So keep that in mind, but I'm going to go over a couple of things of why this could be something that is for you, okay? It does say there's one more here that if you're going from grade 5 of primary mathematics US edition to grade 6 of primary mathematics standards edition, that there's going to be an issue there. I don't know what that is, but if you're changing early, it's a pretty easy transition, except for when you're doing this, you're going to have to do some gap filling. Goes down here to say why choose dimensions. Okay, here we go. Look at all of these. Why do this? Well, for one, it goes all the way up to grade 6 and 8. It also starts a lot earlier. You have a pre-K option here, which I think is pretty cool if you're going to be starting that early, that you can go ahead and start building that Singapore math right away. Excellent value and accessible pricing. Vibrant illustrations and a clean design. I definitely agree with that. And there's really awesome video subscriptions that you can add here. They're continuing to add to that. I think the video stops at 6th grade right now, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Primary mathematics. Why would you want to go with the new one? Why would you want to go 2022? Okay, it's different. Maybe the other Singapores are just a little bit too much. You don't want something quite so rigorous. You don't want something quite as advanced. This is a great, great program if you just want to get a soft start in math, or you want the Singapore math mindset, but you don't want the full difficulty that comes with it. This would be my biggest recommendation for Primary Math 2022 is if you want nice, colorful images, you want something that is starting your child with Singapore math, but it's not the most rigorous Singapore math, okay? Maybe you have a struggling math student, but you do want to use Singapore math. This right here is probably going to be your easiest Singapore math that you can do, okay? Because it focuses on different alignment and standards, and it's just different, okay? So look at all of these. You can see it focuses on US standard alignment, and make sure that when you're looking here, this is talking about Primary Math 2022, this little guy right here, okay? She loved these little characters. So right here focuses on US standards, okay? This is the easiest of all three for your student, more than likely, okay? Because of the standard and just the level of difficulty. Then we have Primary Math US Edition. That's this little guy right here. You can see it's US Edition because it tells you right there, okay? This is the one that is almost identical to the original program that was brought over from Singapore, but it uses US measurements and currency, okay? So if you want the program that puts Singapore on the math map, this is it, okay? Primary Mathematics Standards Edition, all right? It's going to look very, very similar to this, except it's going to say Standards Edition on it. This was revised to meet the California Public School standards. So if you need this, here you go. This is the option that you're going to choose, okay? If you need that, easy peasy. There you go. All right, next we have our Common Core. If you need to have a Common Core curriculum, this is the one you're going to want to choose because it is created to meet those requirements. So if you are in a state that requires certain requirements, here you go. Otherwise, here's your option. So come to Singapore Math, come to this program comparison, come to this parent section. So much information here. You can take placement tests, you can look at sample pages, scope and sequences, all sorts of fun stuff here, okay? This is where you want to come if you are watching this video. Let's go back. Let's look at the books. All right, everyone, thank you for sticking around with me to this point. We're going to go ahead and stop part one right here because I want it to be an easy video for you to look at, okay? So I'm going to split this into two parts. So be sure that you're hitting that subscribe button and come back and see me. I'll have the next video up very soon.